All right, as promised, we're joined right now by an offensive tackle with the Minnesota Vikings. He was a two-time honorable mention All-Big Tenor at Illinois. He set a school record with 52 career starts. He was the 184th pick overall in this year's draft. Minnesota is coming off an 8-9 season. Vederian Lowe is my guest. Vederian, great to have you on. How are you?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Good, good. Listen, you've been a Viking offensive tackle now for about a week and a half. What's it been like since you found out where you were going to be playing, and what's your life like right now?
It's been amazing, man, to know that, I'm part of the Vikings organization. They have a really, really solid team all around, great players from top to bottom. And I'm just really excited to be, a part of something like that. I think that the team is in great hands, and I think that the team can do, a bunch of great things. So I'm just very excited to be able to be put in that position, to be able to experience that, to be around all those guys, and to step in that locker room and, try and make an impact in my own way. Since draft day, I've just been working out, just getting ready for rookie minicamp, getting ready for OTAs, getting ready to be around all the guys, just trying to lock in so that, I can make my presence known, I can establish myself. And, I can just go in there and try to make the O-line room better. That's all I want to do. All I want to do is go in there and compete and work day in and day out because, I'm doing something that I love to do. So, that's pretty much how it's all been, man. It's been great, though, to say the least. It's been fantastic.
Vederian Lowe already making this show better. I appreciate that. I'm glad you brought up the offensive line room because, personally, I'm not sure how many shows do this, but I've always been really into talking to offensive linemen because they're so important, and I think they're frequently overlooked. You've said one of the things you love most about being on the offensive line is being able to develop a cohesive unit in order to function at your highest level. How did you go about developing that chemistry with your teammates on the line in college?
So in college, it really started, my true freshman and sophomore years. Though the early years that I was in school, that was when, that foundation of the chemistry really started to come into play. We did these things in the summer where one of our teammates, he plays for the Kansas City Chiefs now. He would take us all to his family's lake house in Michigan, just the O-line for 2 days or so, and we all go up there and just kick it, and we'd all hang around and talk and do all these things, play games just for a day or two straight. That's just being around the guys. That was really what established that chemistry. That was really the foundation of having that cohesive unit. And, that carried out for years. Once we all finally got well known with each other and we finally understood, each other's playing styles and each other's strengths and weaknesses and, how each person is off the field. I think that was just that it made the last 3 or 4 years very easy just for us being so tight, just for us knowing each other so well. We all talk still to this day, the group that I came in with. So it really helped us on the field. I think that it made playing O-line with the guys I did at Illinois, it made it very, very easy because, I knew everything about them. I knew, their strengths. I knew what they could do. They knew mine. And I think that it really helped us throughout our entire time in college. And that's the same thing I want to do, in the NFL. I want to make sure that, I go into this O-line room and make sure that I get well known with the guys and make sure I understand them on and off the field. And I think that it'll just help everybody.
Vederian Lowe is joining us. All right, so from where I'm sitting when I hear this, it seems to me the Vikings are getting something special in you. Your wife, Haley, says that when the two of you first met, the two of you sat up all night talking. You said you were hooked after that conversation. What do you remember about that night and how special that connection was?
Man, that was something like nothing I'd ever experienced before. She's definitely my first and only true love, and I was like, I never had experienced anything like that until that night, and like I was genuinely hooked. Right after that, like I couldn't get enough of her, and like that feeling stuck around, and it turned into the beautiful family that we have now, and it turned into us having to experience all the things that we experienced and making us who we are now. I can't even that feeling, man. Like just the conversation that we had and meeting her, is the best thing that ever happened to me. And I got 2 beautiful boys out of it, and I'm just so grateful that she's in my life.
Vederian Lowe is joining us. So you've got those two beautiful boys, Kingston and Trey. When you found out that you were going to be a father for the first time, you admitted you were scared, which, believe me, we all are. It's completely understandable. You told your grandfather, Jerry, that you weren't sure you could pull it off. What was his response to you, and what did you take away from that?
Yeah, so my grandfather, he's always been the person that I've went to, whenever I'm going through anything tough in life, whenever something's good happening to me, he's the one guy I always go to because he's always going to give it to me straight. So this was the first time in my life where I was really going through some adversity, some grown people stuff. I'm 19, but this is some real stuff now. So I went to him, and told him, what was going on, and he always says, what's your last name? And I'm like, Lowe. And he's like, well, that means you can do anything. You can get through anything. You're built for anything. Us Lowe men are built for anything, and we can do anything we want to do. So, he said that, and that always sits with me, because my grandfather is a really strong, powerful man. He's a man of wisdom. He's been through a lot of experiences. And I really trust him. I really look up to him. So, just him giving me that, that reassurance and affirmation that, if I can do this, I can pull through this, I can become a great father at this young of an age. All of those things, man, just from him telling me that, it really gave me a lot of confidence and everything. So I always go to him for anything because that's my guy.
It's like, this already, but regardless of age, being a parent is an awesome responsibility. I don't care who you are, where you live, how much money you have, what your life is like. Being a parent is an awesome, awesome responsibility. It's the best
100%.
job, it's the toughest job. But as you point out, you had to deal with kind of like grown-up people's things. A month after your first son was born, your mother passed away. What was your mom like as a person, and how much of an impact did she have on you?
My mom was a fantastic woman. She was a very hard worker. She did any and everything she could, to give her sons, me and my brother, the best life that she possibly could have. She was a great woman, very smart, very bright. We'll always recall times where, she always cared about school. It wasn't never about football. It wasn't never about sports. She didn't care about me wanting to play in the NFL. She always just wanted me to get my degree. And she was always school comes first. So, that was one of the things that I wanted to make sure I did. I wanted to make sure I graduated because that was for her. That was my main goal was always playing in the NFL, but she wanted me to get my degree. So that my degree is for her. And, I carry that with me every day. I'm very proud of that. I'm very proud of her. For doing everything she could have done, before she passed away to, help make me into the man that I am today. That I said all around, though, she was just a very great woman, a very great woman.
Vederian Lowe is my guest. Listen, if this story weren't amazing enough as it is, as far as we are right now, that'd be something. But after she passed away, you started to look after your younger brother, Vidalis, who you mentioned. Then in July of 2020, you and Haley made the decision to adopt him. What was that process like, and what does that role mean to you?
That process, that was a roller coaster of a process, man. If anybody has been through, the court system and, dealing with that type of thing, they'll know as well. Like, it was a very long, drawn-out process. It was just for my brother in the situation that he was in, for him being 12 and 13 years old, having to live with my granny and, basically having to take care of her day to day whenever he would come home from school and whatnot. It just wasn't the life that, I wanted my brother to have at that age. That's not something that I thought a regular 12 or 13-year-old kid, should have to do. I think that they should be a kid. They should be able to, do the things that they want to do while they have the time. So I wanted to take my brother out of that situation. Me and my wife came together and decided that was the best thing for us to do was to take him in and just give him the stable home, give him, the mom and dad figures and just, give him a sense of stability in his life, which is one of the main things that we wanted to do. And so that process was very, very drawn out, very up and down. It took me about a year before the courts decided to let me have 100% custody guardianship of him. And I think that has been the best decision, for him. Honestly, I think that me and my wife have done, everything we can still to this day to just make sure that he has a great life, make sure that he's able to get every experience that he can out of it. And I'm genuinely just happy to be able to be put in this position and do that for him, because I'm all he's got. So I think that, I don't know. I'm just very happy to be able to do that.
My man, really quickly, you have incredible maturity for somebody so young. How do you explain the fact that not only are you not overwhelmed or fazed by these important responsibilities, it seems like they actually motivate and inspire you?
Yeah, man. Yeah, that is 100% the truth. I use this as fuel. This is something that not a lot of people are going through, and honestly, I think that just for me to be put in this position now, I wouldn't be here without all these experiences that I've went through. I think that just me as a person, me as a man, I needed something to get me going. And I think that I'm glad that all of these things, all these trials and tribulations, all these ups and downs that I went through in my life, I'm glad that I went through all those things because they have literally made me the man that I am today. It's made me have the mindset that I have, and it's got me to this point, and it's going to continue to push me. Just with, I'd be lying if I said it was all easy, it was all peaches and cream, because, it's not. It's not. Being a dad this young of an age of two young toddlers and having my brother, being married, I want to be a good football player. I want to be a great husband, great father. That I'd be lying if I said it was easy. But I make an adamant effort every single day to give everything all I got. And I really think that by me doing that, by me putting so much work into wanting to be great at it, it's gotten me to this point.
And I would be lying if I said that I was anything other than extraordinarily impressed. He's an offensive tackle with the Vikings, a two-time honorable mention as an all-Big Tenner at Illinois. The Vikings 8-9 last season, and they've got themselves a very special one right here, Vederian Lowe, my guest. Vederian, so good to meet you. Great to have you on the show. It's a powerful and amazing story. Thanks so much for sharing it. I hope you and I can talk again and chop it up soon.
Yeah, man, thank you so much for having me, Jim. I really appreciate it, man. I had a great time.
I really appreciate you, Vederian. Thank you so much. I had a great time, too.